One thing that's been massive for my students that I really like to lean into is that you come across completely different in your sales calls when you don't need the money. You can be creative in a way that you can't be, or you can say, oh, I do want to take that thing even though it's X dollars because I have the time, I have the ability to do it. And this is a stepping stone to where I'm aiming in my brand.
Yeah, part of it is like this inner work that you need to do to say, what do I really want in my business? What's not working? What are some things that could change or that might need to change? And you know what you might need to do? You might need to bring a coach alongside of you or somebody that's more seasoned to come alongside of you and help you unpack things that you're good at, that you're not capitalizing on, that you should be. So here, let's build a plan for you to stick to that thing.
I had to literally shift my focus and say, this is who I want to work with. This is what I'm passionate about. This is why I'm passionate about it. And I may have to pick up some part-time work while I'm focusing on this. And I'm getting rid of TikTok because I don't need to focus on that for my brand. I just need to focus on Instagram. That's what I'm going to do this year. I can't do everything, but what are the main things that I can do today? How can I take steps today?
On episode 463 of the podcast, we talk about how desperation kills your sales calls before you even start. We also go over the mindset shift that happens when you have $100,000 in the bank and how to fake it till you make it without being sleazy. Why posting daily on Instagram stories for 13 straight months generated John $350,000. Must be nice. And then finally, the specific content strategy that attracts high-end clients. All this and seriously so much more on today's episode. What's up, my friend? Hey, welcome to the Grow Your Video Business podcast. My name is Ryan Coral. I am your host. Welcome to another edition. 463 episodes later, here we are. I grew my hair out, my beard, all of the things. Hey, I'm so glad that you are joining me. If you've been around for a little while, you know that this show is designed to help you build a more sustainable business. I've been doing creative work ever since I launched my production business over 20 years. This month is 21 years for me in business. But I love the business side of what I get to do. And talking about mindset and marketing and business operations, that stuff gets me excited. I love digging in. I love reading books and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos, not on the creativity of stuff, but like how to scale and how to save time and how to be more profitable. That stuff is the stuff that gets me going. So that's what this show is for. That's what we do here most of the time. And today's episode is not going to disappoint. I have something very exciting to share before we get into the episode. I'm taking applications. Mastermind is open. If you have been on the fence, if you thought, man, I want to be in Ryan's mastermind, I want to be surrounded by 11 or 12 other filmmakers, video production people that want to grow, that have not perfected their business, but are working toward growth. And whether that's in revenue or in freedom and time freedom, this is the group for you. And this is the time to apply. We take applications. We do very simple, very easy, what do you call them? Interviews. Non-intimidating, really. It's just to share like why you care about this work, why you want to be in a group like this, and that's how we do it. So go fill out an application if you are this much interested. Now is the time. I think when this episode drops, we're in the middle of our retreat. We're in Austin, Texas, with our mastermind group and spending time together in person. And I'm sure it's going amazingly. It's definitely one of the biggest highlights, if not the biggest highlight, is when we are able to meet in person. So anyway, stop missing out. Go fill out your application. Just go to studiosherpas.com/mastermind. Again, that URL is studiosherpas.com/mastermind. You can get all the information about the mastermind there and fill out your application, and then we'll follow up with you and hop on a call if that's what needs to happen next. So anyway, thanks for being here. Let's get into this episode. It's jam-packed. I'm so glad that John joined me and hung out with me and shared with me all of the things, and we're about to share with you. So here we go. Roll the tape. Let's get into it.
What's up, my friend? Welcome to another episode. Yeah. Welcome to another episode. Today, I'm hanging out with my boy, John Bunn, who is the founder of John Bunn Films. He's also the host of the Shifting Focus podcast, and I can't wait to be a guest on that show. Anyway, John, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, Ryan? My friend, my buddy. It's good to be on. And maybe if you're lucky, I'll let you on my podcast. We'll see. We'll put a rain check pin on it. Maybe next year. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
I loved as soon as I said that, you're like the little.
That's not going to happen.
Okay. So, man, John and I, we've been in each other's orbits for a long time. I'm just a few years more senior than him, so much wiser. Dude, it's been such a fun journey watching you and Nick build what you built with How to Film Weddings. And you guys are in this like brand new chapter of life and work and all the things. What right now in the work that you're doing, what's bringing you the most excitement?
So many things. Excitement level, I think, is I ran How to Film Weddings, and if your listeners don't know, it's a podcast for, wedding professionals, mainly wedding filmmakers, since 2017. And as of about a month ago, my co-host Nick and I parted ways, and we're still buddies. We still talk every day, but it was just time to shift focus, to do something else, to try something new. Yeah, you like that? And so anyway, I think just the idea, like I've had since 2007 or 8 employees or people that I'm like that are counting on me. And I just knew that it was time for me to like be the brand and be the face of the brand and do that. Yeah. So I'm just been really excited. It's been about 2 years of me and Nick transitioning from How to Film Weddings into our own separate brands. We officially moved August 1st to our own podcast. And so I'm just really embracing this idea that like people would care what just I have to say, so it's been this new thing that's just been really, it's obviously made me very excited. So yeah, I can dig more into that, but that's been really great. I'm also just really excited about the stage of life I'm in with my 2 kids and my wife, and high school started this year, and things like that. I'm excited about the Dallas Cowboys sucking again this year. And I'm excited about my Oklahoma City Thunder winning a championship. So I'm from Oklahoma. And we at least got one. So that's what I'm excited about.
Did you watch the Dallas Cowboys documentary mini doc on
halfway
Netflix?
Halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, so good. This is the second time this has come up in conversation today. I cried. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, like through and through. Like, I don't care. I hate the Cowboys. Like, they're annoying. Their owner, annoying, whatever. Dude, I got to the end of that doc and I'm like, I have a heart for the guys. I started following Michael Irvin. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? But that just goes to show you the power of story and story done well. I think it's just really
so good. It's such a good, like they've done such a good job with it. So I'm halfway through. We're in the middle of watching Stranger Things with my 15-year-old because she didn't get to watch it until this year. And so we're catching up before it comes out in the fall. Man. And so we've been watching that as an 80s, 90s kid myself. It's been very nostalgic, and I don't know. I love it. Love sharing it with her. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. That's what we're excited about.
I like it. So the new podcast, Shifting Focus, tell us a little bit more. Who's the audience? What's the focus there?
Yeah. When we started How to Film Weddings, we were going to start a YouTube channel teaching people, hear me out, how to film weddings. I mean, that was so brilliant. Yes. SEO was great. And it was just going to be like tutorials and tips and tricks on like how to shoot and how to edit and how to sell and business shooting, editing, and like over 400 episodes later. And we had a course that we sold 500 or 600 of. We had mastermind groups that hundreds and hundreds of filmmakers went through. around 1,000 or so mentor sessions with filmmakers. And I just started to like really hone in on the business. I mean, I've always been like a business minded person. But yeah, I started honing in on that and realizing like I wanted to talk, at least for now, to the entire wedding industry, not just the video industry. I added photo last year and started shifting focus into being more photography, making friends with other photographers. And I just wanted to expand to the full industry. So wedding filmmakers and photographers mainly, but like I've like added a lot of event planners and florists and, people like that, and talking. And as I've done lots of business coaching with people that are not in the wedding world, my goal sooner than later would probably be to expand to just the creative space. But for now, the main industry is the wedding world. I'm still shooting a lot of weddings and kind of sharing my process. And I've always been a guy that people look at my work and it's great. I love my work, but they look at my work and they say, how are you charging what you're charging? And I'm like, oh, it's all about like the relationships, the branding, the connections, the celebrity status, the wow factor, all these things. And they're like, what are you talking about? Your wedding films are what sell. And I'm like, yeah, they have to be really good too. Like they've got to be bangers. But if nobody is seeing them, nobody's buying them. And so I've just really leaned into helping people focus on things that are really important. Like pretty pictures are very important. Pretty videos are very important. But if you're not out there shaking hands, meeting people, connecting, if you're not doing your job on social to just get that awareness, no one's going to be hiring you, and you're not creating any buzz around your brand. You're not creating the ability to be seen, which causes the supply and demand of you and your time, to not go away. And so your prices can't go up. And so after mentoring so many people on that, I just really wanted to lean into what you should be focusing on, and then, shift their focus. And then focus is kind of like a nod towards camera people and stuff. So yeah, that's the idea. That's the audience.
Really cool. I think that's a great space for you. We so much on this show and just in business coaching and whatever, we always are talking about niching down because so many of us are so broad. But, when I was in the like full-time in weddings for probably 8 years, almost 8 years. And I felt like I got to a place where I'm like, if I would have done something like that, where instead of just talking to people that are filming weddings, but like expanding to bringing photographers in the mix, and then, man, like, oh my gosh, like just anybody that's touching these like high-end luxury type weddings that, where people have a lot of money and want to spend a lot of money. I could be relevant in those spaces. So I think it's like the challenge for a lot of us is like we should get really focused, really narrow, and become an expert, or get as close to becoming an expert there before we shift or broaden our focus. I think that's a good path. And knowing you and knowing, more of your business acumen and the things that you share about it. Yeah, it's a no-brainer that you're speaking to this wider audience. There's just a lot for people to learn from a smart guy like you.
Oh, wow. Well, I appreciate the kind words, my friend. Yeah, I think about it in like this idea of, it's like the airplane. When you're on it, they say like put your oxygen mask on first before like putting it on your kid. And like before you can do things for others, like really focusing inward. Who do you want to serve? Why do you want to serve them? Why are you in business? Why do you care about this? And if that thing that's deep down in you, that God-given thing that you're just like, this is my calling. This is what I'm passionate about. If it doesn't make you like, when you really dig down, if it doesn't make you either want to cry or want to like, yell or like some kind of reaction, I would say your purpose isn't defined enough. And for me, I wanted to like really dig into my backstory a little bit. Like my wife and I both grew up with no money, and we went to private Christian school here in Oklahoma. That's where we met. And we both put a little over $200K into student loan debt apiece. And so when we got married, we had just a little over $400,000 in student loans, and our loan payments were about $2,500 a month. And I was making $2,500 a month. And so I was like, this plan doesn't seem like I'm going to be eating anything. And I mean, I did all the things, I worked at a church and they would have leftover food on Wednesdays. And that's what I would eat for the week. I would pay my water 1 month, my gas the next, my electric the next, take late fees on the others and get caught up. And I was just like, God help me. I got to make some money. I know I'm a business minded guy. I went to school for marketing. Nobody taught me anything about money. And that is like, I get really passionate talking about that because the pain that I had to go through between 2005 and 2012, 13, as I was just digging out, it fuels me to help people be like, make smart moves with your money. Like I was in a corner and I was like, I got to figure out $3,000 more this month just to get back to zero. And then the month would happen. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've got to figure out $3,000 more next month to get back to zero. And sooner than later, I was like, hey, I could film that thing. I could do this thing. And I started just making more than what I needed and quit my job and move full time. And now, you fast forward 19 years later of me doing weddings, I'm somehow still enjoying it but really passionate about people and helping them get out of debt or helping them see how to make more money. And, I'm booking these weddings now for 30,000 and above, which is bananas. That's more than I made. That was my yearly salary for my first year.
Right.
And, so shifting my focus and getting really deep into this is who I like, what I care about, and this is why I care about it. And only focusing on that first has helped me to then be able to help everybody else. I got my oxygen mask on, and then boom, I've been able to now help tens of thousands of people. And after years and years of doing that kind of work, it was like, okay, I've been helping this wedding video audience. I think I can expand now to I wanted to add photo anyway. And now I'm kind of sharing my story as I've pushed past 6 figures in my first year of doing photo. I've only personally shot 5 photo weddings now, but I just booked one for $15,000. And I'm like, what is happening? And it's the same principles. And it's like, this works. When you really define and, really laser in and focus on the 1 or 2 social media platforms or the brand message, and you really get that clarity, big things happen, and you don't have to be an award-winning filmmaker to do it.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, quick timeout. If you're listening to this show because you want to grow your video business, but you feel like you're spinning your wheels doing everything yourself, and you're wondering why it's not getting easier, listen up. I've been there multiple times throughout running this business. The bottleneck, feeling burnt out, the late night, what's next, panic, what did I forget? That's exactly why I started the Studio Sherpas Mastermind a few years ago. This is a small group of just 12 video business owners who are done figuring it out alone. Some members have doubled and even tripled their revenue. Others have hit over $1 million for the first time in business. In this group, we talk strategy, profit, we go over systems and hiring and mindset, all of the things that actually move the needle. So if you're serious about scaling your studio without losing your sanity, apply now at studiosherpas.com/mastermind. Don't keep doing this thing solo. The climb is a lot easier with Sherpas by your side. Again, it's studiosherpas.com/mastermind. All right, let's jump back into the show.
Our stories are very similar. And I was working at the teeny tiny Christian college, making a minister's salary of $22,000 a year. I don't think I paid taxes on that. I didn't have to pay taxes, so I was actually keeping a lot more. But remember, that's not very much money. And jumping at the chance to shoot that first wedding for $500, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, let's do this. And yeah, however many years later, I can't remember when we booked our first $100,000 gig. It was not a wedding. It was a corporate gig. But I remember sending that first proposal, the contract and everything. And I wrote, it was I did all the calculations as best I could and tried to just try to get this thing under 100K. Cause I was like, nobody's going to spend $100,000 on this video. And so it was like $99,800 because I was just I just couldn't make it a 6-figure thing. I sent it over to the client. I'm like, hey, here's what we're thinking. And she's like, oh yeah, that's about where I was thinking. I was like, dang it. I could have probably put it at 100,000. Here's the silver lining in that story. She ended up adding more things to the whole project. So I think it was like $130,000 or $140,000 in total, but just thinking, back when I started, shooting a $25,000, $30,000 wedding. Yeah, right. Shooting a $100,000, production. Granted, it was like an 11-day thing. We were at this location for 11 days. There was a lot of work involved, but just to think that one project could be worth $100,000, which was like more than 4 times my annual salary. It's like, what? Like, this is crazy. But I mean, I think it goes to show that there is opportunity in this business to not just make the bare minimum, but opportunity to have a healthy bank account and to be able to, I'm in the throes of, I have a kid in college and, tomorrow I got to pay like the installment number 2 for college. And when we started, my wife and I, we no kids and like our cars are paid off. School was mostly paid. We hardly had any school debt, and we lived in government subsidized housing, so we didn't have to make any money. And then I also like felt bad or weird about like wanting to make more money, and I carried that with me for years. And then we started having kids, and then got a mortgage, and started dreaming and thinking about retiring. Maybe one day, what are we going to do? Shoot, we got to make more money than this. This is not going to work. And then just getting to that spot where we felt comfortable. I felt a lot more comfortable with my relationship with money, and to say like, oh my gosh, I can't do this work that I feel called to do unless I'm making a lot more than I am, and a lot more than I ever kind of like envisioned making and being comfortable with. But geez, I don't know. I don't want to tell people like, hey, like that's an important thing to figure out. Psychology of Money is a great book. You probably have read that at least once.
10 times. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. All of our relationships with money is so unique and different, but getting to a place where you at least are aware of what is your relationship with money, I think is super duper important. Also coming from like a faith background, starting when I was 18 years old, freshman in college, it was, I just had this weird, just this super weird relationship within it. It wasn't until years and years later that I finally started to feel like not guilty for wanting to make more money. That was kind of an awkward, stumbling through, but I'm glad that I've sort of come to the other side of that of like, wow, if I can make more money, that means I can give more money. I can do a lot more, I can do a lot more good with my money. But anyway,
I will help you. The subject of money is very, very interesting. And as a Christian that had 90s Christian parents, and money and the TBN was on the TV and people asking for money and like give so you can get and like all this, I had a weird relationship with money, in the 90s. Like what is going on over here? And then I didn't know anything about money. And my brother went to this private Christian school. So I was like, oh, I'll do it. And he's like, all you have to do is get Aunt Louise to co-sign and you can go for free to school. And I was like, cool, that sounds great. I didn't realize it was, $40,000 a year, for my 5 years that I went there. So nobody taught me anything actually about money, but it was more just like, have faith. And that was it. And I'm like, wait a sec. Something's messed up here. And so I had to relearn money. And for most people, the subject of money, and that's something that like people get real uncomfortable with. It's just the subject of money. Especially if I start saying like, I make a lot of it, which is, it feels like a flex or whatever. But like, to me, I feel called to make more, to not only support my family, but to be able to help more people and to do more things. And so if I'm worried about, cash is oxygen in your business. And if I'm worried about, oh shoot, I don't know if I'm going to make it this month, it's kind of hard for me to be creative. And the currency of our world is money. It's literal currency. And you have to be able to pay for stuff I want to pay my shooters well. I want to pay my editors well. I want to go on trips and enjoy my life and different things. And we also give a lot as well. But I had to get over the hump of like, okay, how do I get to zero? And then being like, okay, I've got like this bottom level of the pyramid kind of covered. I'm safe. I'm not going to lose my house. I can afford a car. I can afford organic food was a big one at a certain point. It's like, okay, we can go to Whole Foods for the fruit. Like, let's go get fruit there or whatever. And then just watching over the years, I turned 40 last year, and going from that to technically millionaire status in my bank accounts and investments and stuff, it's just like it blows my mind. And I'm not living some kind of lavish lifestyle, but like my relationship with money is healthy. Like I don't need more of it to be happy. I don't need less of it to be happy. Money is just a thing. And for me, I want people to see that like their relationship with money, like a lot of people are like, well, I would never pay 30 grand for that thing or 100 grand for that shoot. So like, I'm never gonna, like, I couldn't pay for it, and having to get out of my own way and saying, I'm not my client anymore. I'm providing a very high level. Like I just got off the call with the mother of a bride that I did the wedding for 3 weeks ago. And I sent the photos over, and she spent a little over 25K for their video and photo for one day. And she now wants to add on $5,000 to $10,000 worth of albums and prints, and is just like ready to go. And there's a level of service I had to grow into to learn how to take care of someone like that. But literally, when I built out my ideal avatars, the company I worked with helped me define my ideal bride and my ideal mother of the bride. And literally, these two people are the exact people I've been aiming at and focusing on for years. And 2021, I did a big rebrand. I changed the business name to my name, started like really getting focused on promoting my brand, the brand of John Bunn Films, and putting myself out there and staying consistent with my ideal avatars. And 4 or 5 years later, my business has exploded with people that love to give me their money. And the mom was so happy with the service she got. She was like, I have 4 other daughters, just so you know, you're booked 4 more times. And my friends are already, and providing, like, the photos are really good. Like the photos are awesome. Like I did a good job. I know how to take photographs. I know the skill level, but I knew the planner. That's how this bride found me. And like, that's how they booked me. And I had to be doing relationship marketing at the same time as social media marketing. And at the same time, I had to have some kind of celebrity status and some kind of banger images. And all of that coming together has allowed me to now be like looking at my account at the beginning of the month as we record this and say, all my bills are covered for the rest of the year if I don't make another penny. That allows me to be creative like I want to. And it's like, I want to make that tutorial video. I want to make that podcast. I want to do that thing. I want to help people. I've got time now because my relationship with money is not, I'm working for it. It's just the tool that helps me to get to where I want to go. I know that I'm rambling now, so help me.
No, dude, that's great. I think that is a very important thing that we could probably talk about the rest of the show, getting to that spot where, okay, picture this. You've got a project that's due, the end of next week. It's a big project. It's all shot, it's done, but you've got to create the story. You got to find the music. Oh man, good luck. You've got all this pressure. And then you also realize like, oh crap, like I'm not getting paid this week. Like they've already paid me for the deposit. I'm not getting paid the rest until this thing is done. Where am I going to find the cash? Also, I just listened to this episode with John and Ryan, and they're like, hey, you got to show up on social media and you should make some posts and do some things. Okay, where am I going to find time to do that? And, you've just got all of the elements of running a business and trying to hit this deadline. You'd love if you could do it early, but you're going to need every available minute to put this thing together. And then you do. It's midnight. You hit send. You're like, I did it. But holy cow! Just to think about the interruption of the creative flow
Hmm.
where you've got a lot of stress and you're working under that. And man, to think that what would it look like if right now you knew, for the last quarter of the year, you wouldn't have to shoot anything else. You wouldn't have to deliver anything else. Everything is paid for. What would you do? You have 3 months of just open. And to think that any job that you book at that point is like, it's icing on the cake. Like this can go into savings, investment. This can go on a vacation. Like I could buy a car. Like what could be done? Or it's like, you know what? I have been itching to do this passion project that I just can't get to. Or instead of like me feeling like I only have 1 week to edit this thing, I'd love to take like 3 weeks and really put myself into it and create something that I'm really, really proud of. That's probably one of the best reasons why we should try to be more profitable, try to charge more what we're worth so that we have more opportunity for freedom, for creativity. We make better stuff in most cases when we probably hitting deadlines, I think is very important and good for us and healthy. But when it's like you have no other option, that's a different feel than like, hey, I'm going to try to get this done by Friday versus like, I got to get this done by Friday or client's going to be pissed and I'm not going to get paid or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up because that's not really an area that I've talked about where it's like, if you don't make enough money, you're really sacrificing opportunity for creativity.
Yeah. And one thing that's been massive for my students that I really like to lean into is that you come across completely different in your sales calls when you don't need the money. You can be creative in a way that you can't be, or you can say, oh, I do want to take that thing, even though it's X dollars, because I have the time, I have the ability to do it. And this is a stepping stone to where I'm aiming in my brand. So, you come to, we're looking for new couches right now. We've had the same couch, which is funny since we got married, and we literally are just living in this beautiful, crazy home.
Hey,
that
before you go there, do you know how much heavier your couch is?
I can't
today
even,
than
probably like 3 pounds just from
So
all
gross.
the dead skin. But it doesn't stink. We get it. It's not a bad couch. It's great. But it was just like, we moved into this beautiful home 5 years ago, and it was like, we had a dog, and like we just sent him to doggy heaven a few months ago. Unfortunately, he was 16, and it was just like, we didn't want to get new stuff. We had new kids, and like now my youngest is 8 and the oldest one's 15. But anyway, we're looking for furniture. And there's a place in town, when you go in, there's like a line down, like, say, I'm sure you have that, and maybe you don't, but there's like a line of salesmen, and there's one waiting at the door, and there's like a line of people that are waiting there that are like college dropouts usually, or, they're just giving this a whirl. They kind of smell like a cigarette, and they're wearing a suit that doesn't fit right, and whatever, it's fine. But you walk in and you can see their eyes light up. They're like, oh, this guy has money. Like, he's gonna, and like it feels so icky. They need the sale. They will do anything to get the sale. And I'm immediately like, get away from me. Stay away from me. I do not want to talk to you. I'm just looking. I'm not, as opposed to my wife and I went out to a really nice dinner the other night, and the waiter, at that location, so helpful, such a good salesperson. Do you have any allergies? Well, actually, yes, my wife has an allergy. Okay, then you're not going to want this. Let me recommend this. And was a good salesperson because their mindset, they were good. They weren't needing that money and they got a really nice tip because they like walked us through the most amazing meal of our lives. And like, this pairs well with this meat, and this, whatever, this dessert's gluten-free. And, now I'm getting hungry, darn it. But the point being is, whenever I'm looking at my bank account and there's a comma, or like a comma and then some numbers in that account, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I've got $100K sitting there. I can breathe for a long time. And if a new client reaches out, okay, like this is somebody that I want to do work with or I don't want to. I have so much oxygen that I can make really good decisions. And I think as creatives, we wear this starving artist thing where it's just like, well, I'm not good at business and it's really not that hard to do things. I mean, I work as hard as I've ever worked, but to me, I'm just sitting here thinking like, what does your business look like if you didn't need to make the sale today? And that's what you have to kind of do, even if you need the sale. That's the secret to selling is like, you got to pretend you already have 100K in the bank when you're making this pitch because it comes off differently. And what has happened for me is I got that snowball built and I got it, the boulder up the mountain or whatever. And once you push it over, it's like now all these clients are coming in and it's just like, I can say, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And the ones that have the money, just like the one I just did a few weeks ago, I booked them, no questions asked. And then they're telling all their friends about it. And it's caused this snowball to just go crazy in my business to where I'm paying nothing for paid ads and I'm just getting lead after lead after lead. And so it's this whole mindset shift that, chicken or the egg, which one comes first? And it's just like, I had to literally shift my focus and say, this is who I want to work with. This is what I'm passionate about. This is why I'm passionate about it. And I may have to pick up some part-time work while I'm focusing on this. And I'm getting rid of TikTok because I don't need to focus on that for my brand. I just need to focus on Instagram. That's what I'm going to do this year. I can't do everything, but what are the main things that I can do today? How can I take steps today? And slowly over time and putting in that extra work, it's built something that it's just the flywheel is turning. And it wasn't one push of the flywheel. It's the 1,000th push that's like really getting it going. And I can let it just go and I can take a week off if I need to. And I'm in a place where I can edit in a way that's like fulfilling. And so all those things all filter back into like, where are you focused? How are you putting yourself out there? And most people walk around just kind of bumping around with no intention. And that's to me where I want people to be intentional in their brands and do an audit and say, why am I doing this? And if it's just to make money, that's great. But like really digging in and understanding who and why who they're doing this for, who's important in your life, why does this matter? And if it's something that you can't get there, like if this isn't something important, then go do something else that you want to do. We have a really short life.
Man, we could probably just end there, but I'm not ready.
Okay. So, I'm sweating. Is that okay? I have like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think the energy thing, I'll use that word. When you bring the energy on a call, like I remember in 2020, it was probably, everything shuts down. We've got some editing projects. Thank God that we're able to do, and these clients told us that they had the money to pay us, to complete them. So we had just booked a couple of things right before lockdown. And so we were in an okay spot for like, a couple of months, but then it was dry for a couple of months beyond that. And fortunately for the loans and the grants and all that stuff, that was super helpful. But the first client that came to us that actually had a budget, it was going to be north of $20,000. It sounded like a very easy project. And in talking to this business owner, he was like I better not say, he was a partner at some big like brand that everybody would know, or a lot of people would know. But I think he sold a share of the company and then started this other thing. And oh my gosh, this guy was the biggest jerk to like his staff. He was okay to us, but we did a workshop with him and his team, and the way that he talked to these people and then the way that he tried negotiating with all this stuff, I was desperate for a $20,000 job. And the concessions that I gave and like everything inside of me is like, this is not the kind of person. You've identified who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with. This is the guy that you don't want to work with, but we have to do it because we need the money. And this like desperation, like, I don't know if he could feel the like, oh yeah, I know I've got this guy where I want him. Mm-hmm. But I know that when I show up to something and just say, I'm going to be open-handed about whatever this opportunity might be. Not, just because they've shown some interest doesn't mean that I need to book them, because I need to interview them. I really need to figure out, are they a good fit for us as much as they need to figure out, are we a good fit for them? But having this open-handedness of like, you know what? Hey, if we can help you, awesome. If not, like, no big deal. Like, we're fine either way. The point of this call right now is to figure out if we should take that next step. And if we realize after 20 minutes that it's a no for now, I can introduce you to somebody. I can, whatever. Even setting a conversation up like that makes the person on the receiving end feel like, well, no, I want this to work out. Right. I don't want to, have to keep calling around. And like, I kind of like the vibe here where it's not desperation. It's like, it's abundance. It's maybe not. I don't know. We'll see, oh, I'm under the interview. Like, I'm being interviewed now. It's like, what is happening here? That's just it's a completely different thing. And it sets you up for success. Now, here's what's really difficult to do is when you are in desperation mode of like, I freaking need $20,000. Man, I need $5,000. So I will trim down this normal package that we sell for $15. I can make it $5,000. I will do this for you because I'm happy to do it for you. That's like, it's just not good. It's not helpful. It's not helpful to start a relationship like that. But it's also very, very difficult to not get creative in a situation like that where you desperately need cash. So hindsight is always, well, yeah, shouldn't have done, whatever. It's much easier to say today, I wish I didn't take that client, but like, we got the money and it was mostly good. We wanted to die in like, we didn't want to kill the client, but maybe we did, but I would never say that.
Off the record.
Yeah, off the record. So, I know that can be a really difficult place to be in when cash is tight.
So a couple of points of advice on that I like to give is that I think a lot of us that have gone off into the world of being like a solopreneur, entrepreneur, if we got in a position where we really needed money, like concessions are fine. And I don't think it's wrong. Like there's a couple of weddings I booked this year whenever early in the year, I was still needing some more bookings and it was like, yeah, I'll do that. It's still a win and it will still, I did a wedding for an NFL cheerleader earlier this year and I gave her a better deal because they had a specific budget from the beginning. They were really respectful and they said, this is our budget. But I was like, this wedding is in a beautiful location at a beautiful resort. This couple's easy to work with. They worship my films and I'm still going to make a good profit. Like that's a concession I'm willing to make depending on the time of year. What I'm not going to do is like that mother of the bride or whatever that like knows I'm desperate and is like,
right.
Well, this person said we could do it for this much. If you don't match the price, we're walking. And in my early days, it's like, oh, no, I'll match that price. I'll do it. And then it was just a pain in my arse for, a year, dealing with them. They want all these edits. But like as entrepreneurs, like I think a lot of us are too prideful to say, I need to go pick up some part-time work. I need to go make some money. It's hard to make good decisions when you don't have oxygen. And I say it all the time, like cash is oxygen for your business. And it's like, imagine you're trying to make a really good decision, yet you haven't had oxygen in a minute. It's hard to make that good call. And so some of the times it's like, you might be out there listening, you're in like a really bad spot. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm going to go pick up a part-time job. I have a good friend who's a musician, and he's great. And being a musician is tough. And he's got the chops. He knows, it's all about getting in the right rooms now for this person, like amazing singer. And he's looking for part-time work right now because he just can't, he quit a full-time job doing music and he has been full-time on his own for 2 years. And he's just like, man, we got to sell our car. We've got to, we're out of money. And it's like, dude, that's difficult, but good for you for being willing to go get that part-time job so that you can take care of your family. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't live there. Stop by on your way to where you're heading. And if I can leave one thing, it's just like, if you're not being intentional about where you want to go, not where your coworker or your peers or anything like that. Whenever I started to really see a change in my life is whenever I got selfish in a way that was healthy. Like I have to take care of the oxygen mask on me before I can take care of you. And so I'm going to take care of my family first, and then I'm going to take care of other things. I'm going to, and I got really intentional about these are the kinds of people I want to work with. These are the kind of people I hate working with. Here's how I can go and make some money. I've got to go provide for my family. I'm going to be pulling 12-hour days. I'm sorry. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to go kill something. I will be dragging it home. Be ready when I get home because I'm bringing home something. We're going to eat tonight. I don't know how, but we're just going to do it. And like that, after the 2023 season, I found myself kind of in a position where like I had a lot of savings, but the wedding world really slowed down in 23 and 4, just post pandemic and a bunch of different factors. But like getting back into that mindset of like, oh my goodness, what will happen if I don't, make money this month? Really kind of got me excited again and helped me. And that's when I really started to shift my focus on like, I'm helping all these people, yet I'm struggling. I got to figure this out. And now I can say, it's like my kids, both their college is already like paid for. We've put enough in the accounts. Like we're not putting money in there. My 3rd grader has college taken care of. My 9th grader has college taken care of. We have retirement going. We have money in a slush fund. We have money in a vacation fund. And we have, it's like, I went to work. I worked my tail off. It's not like I just, Lauren's my ideal bride. I'll wait until she shows up. It's like, no, I got in the room. I started shaking people's hands. I was at networking events and taking on styled shoots and doing whatever I could do to stay in front of people. I've posted in my Instagram bubble for 13 months in a row. Every day there's been something. There's never been a minute that I haven't been on my stories. And that's the intention I wanted to have for me. And I've grown my following by 5,000 or 6,000 people in the last year. And I'm posting 2 to 3 times a week. And I haven't done anything on TikTok. Like I have only done an intentional, I shifted my focus immediately to just like, this is what I need to do. I know if I do this, if I do this workout plan long enough, I will have abs in my business. I got to eat like I'm supposed to. I got to exercise like I'm supposed to. And that meant something specific to me because I knew exactly where I wanted to go. If you think I'm going to go to the gym and get fit, that's different than I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose 15 pounds by December and I'm going to put on 4 pounds of muscle. I have a personal trainer. Here's my eating plan. Here's my diet journal. Here's all these things and here's my plan. And if I mess up a little bit, I've got a fail safe with some accountability. That's the difference in being like, I don't know why I can't do my business. I'm Eeyore today. Or you can, walk into your business with confidence and say, I'm taking names. I am the man. I'm doing this thing. And that's what my mindset shifted. And if you walk into the gym on day 1 and show up and do your workout, you don't go back the next day and be like, whoa, I lost my 15 pounds. This is it. I've arrived. It's like, no, you go do what fit people do for 2 years and you will look like fit people. And it sucks. It sucks in the moment, but being fit is way better than being out of shape. And so in your business, if you look at it like that, what areas do you need accountability and what areas do you need to focus so that you can get to where you're wanting to go? If you're trying to be a runner, it's a completely different fitness level than if you're trying to be a bodybuilder and any kind of fitness level in between, a tennis player or a swimmer. And to me, I'm sitting here thinking, a lot of people look and say, well, swimmers are doing this, so that's what I need to do. But the whole time you're actually wanting to be a runner in your business. So it's a completely different game plan and you're the one that gets to pick. And so if you're not picking these things, if you're not focused, you're going to be running someone else's race. Okay. If there's nothing clippable in that, I'm sorry. That's all I got. Okay. I got to catch my breath. Clip that.
I mean, it's if you're frustrated in your business, if you don't have the clients you want, you don't have the cash flow you want, you're annoyed, you're worn out, there's a good chance that you're probably, the way you're approaching your business is the way that you've always approached it. And thinking that what worked when you first started would work today, but that's not the case in most cases, especially if you're ready to level up. It's the first time I've actually been able to say that and then point to my little sign over there. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see it on your Riverside recording thing, but I
trust me.
Whoa, that's a cool sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you're ready to level up, it's like you can't keep doing, in a lot of cases, you can't keep doing the same thing. I mean, I laugh thinking about what I thought was going to work, or what I guess sort of what did work when I first started, to think that I could never, ever think like that today. I have to think differently. It's like, without the correct systems in your business, without the right processes, without thinking, you could walk away from this episode and say, okay, John just said, and before we hit record, hundreds of $350,000 in weddings as a result of his consistency in posting on social. Is that roughly accurate statement?
Yeah, that's accurate for this year. Yep.
We'll just broad stroke. So you could think like, oh, okay, so show up on Instagram, start posting, do stories. Okay, if I do that should work for me. If it worked for John, it could definitely work for me, right? That's the wrong way about thinking about this, because you have to think about, what do you want in your business? How like, what lights you up? What gets you excited? Every part of you might dread thinking about showing up on social. If that's the case, don't force that. You don't want to like just assume that that's the way. There are a lot of ways, based on a lot of different kinds of personalities, that can work for you. And so, part of it is like this inner work that you need to do to say, what do I really want in my business? What's not working? What are some things that could change, or that might need to change? And you know what you might need to do? You might need to bring a coach alongside of you, or somebody that's more seasoned to come alongside of you and help you unpack things that you're good at, that you're not capitalizing on, that you should be, or areas in your business that you've just dropped the ball on, or you never really picked up and ran with, realizing that if you would have stuck with that one thing, you'd be miles and miles ahead today. So here, let's build a plan for you to stick to that thing. And it could be being consistent on social, or it could be being consistent showing up to your chamber of commerce or your BNI or whatever. That there are a lot of different things, but I think consistency is key. But consistency in the right thing is probably even more important, because you can't just like show up and think that, I was part of a chamber of commerce when I first started my business, and it was the wrong fit. I was a wedding filmmaker, videographer at that point, thinking that, I could just go to this thing and people would be like, oh okay, I'll hire you. Nobody hired me for anything. It was the worst. It was a waste of time, money. But what I did learn later on was like, oh, it's because I didn't have the right messaging. I didn't have an offer. I wasn't scratching an itch that the majority of these people had. So you can waste a lot of time and energy if you're focused on the wrong thing. Man, this topic of shifting focus is it's all over.
I can't help it.
But I just think that's a super duper important point, and it might be time for you to stop trying to figure all of this out on your own, and to try to find some help.
Yeah, and I would kind of close that whole thought with the idea, if you're out there and you think, oh, I'll just do what John did, like you were saying, like I spent a lot of time and effort getting the hard work done of the foundation of the business, who I wanted to serve, why I wanted to serve them, and got really clear messaging and real clear, like a brand voice. It's like Apple product is Apple. You can just feel it through every word that's on their website, through every thing and that they put out. There's no images that or anything that Apple puts out that's not very intentional. Whether you like them or not, that's who they are. And I just looked and said, my work is all over the place. I'm posting elopements, and I'm posting ballrooms, and I'm posting, all these different things. And the more that I built out those things, the easier the work has become. So like on social media, I'm not trying to post videos that would go viral of like drunken groomsmen jumping off a balcony into a pool. Like that's not my vibe. That's looks like I would go to that wedding. That'd be fun to jump off the balcony. But if I want to make the money I want to take care of my family, I want to do these kinds of weddings. These are the kinds I'm drawn to. So like on social media, even if that happened at a wedding and I know it could go viral, I'm not sharing that because it doesn't speak directly to my ideal purchaser and my ideal purchaser's mom. What I am posting is that moment where I have the bride turn around after she gets dressed and look at her mom and hold her mom's hands. I just take 10 seconds to hold hands and look at each other. And I'm posting that Ray-Ban Meta clip that I took behind the scenes of me saying that, where you can see my camera, you can see them look at each other, and you see the mom just start to melt, and she's trying to hold it together, and then she breaks down, and then they have a moment, and they embrace, and it's like that moment that had 5 million views on my Instagram last year and got me a couple thousand new followers also made me a lot of money because people were like, I want to work with that like that spoke to that person. And whenever I'm deciding which networking events to go to, there's one in town that all the new vendors go to. It's great. It's a great marketing place. But I went to one and was like, these are not my vendors. I am I'm not better than these vendors. I'm just wasting my time here because none of these vendors' clients can their whole budget is what I'm charging. Instead, it's like, oh, let me take that wedding planner a bottle of champagne and pop by her studio and just say, hey, I hope you're doing well. That's my version of marketing now and networking. So I'm mixing all these things very intentionally with where I'm at today for me, which is selfish, but it helps me help others. And so once I figured that out, it's allowed me to start to walk, or it's crawling and walking and running. Now I feel like I'm sprinting, or like I'm sitting on the back of some kind of vehicle just riding the roller coaster. It's like, this is so fun. People inquire and it's like, I've been following you for 2 years. I love your work. Please tell me you're available. It's like, that's way different than what are your prices, And so it's a fun thing, and I love helping people shift their focus. I love helping people see that your life is the one you get to live. Don't try to live someone else's life. And the more that you lean into you and who you are as a unique individual, the more of the right people will find you and want to hire you for you. It's mind-blowing. It's the best feeling when someone's like, I relate to you so well. I'm ready to give you a bunch of money, and I'm also going to treat you like this amazing person that you are at my event or at my thing. And I'm addicted to it, to be honest. I can't get enough of it, and I just love that carousel spinning around each year, and my price is going up just a little more and a little more and a little more, and it making room in my network and my market for newbies to come up and say, well, John charges that much, so I can charge this much, and it helps everybody.
Dude, I love that. I'm just happy for your success and appreciate your perspective, and love that you are a gifted educator and just helping a lot of people in that way. So thanks for doing that.
Of course.
How in the world can people follow along all things John Bunn?
That's where to do it. Yeah. My podcast is shifting focus on all the major podcasts. I just have a website right now as I'm a month into the new podcast. It's just my name, John Bunn, JohnBunn.com, with a dash between the names because johnbunn.com was $8,000 and I'm not. I won't do it. But yeah, John-Bunn is the website, and then just at John Bunn on Instagram. You'll find me. You'll see me. I've got my John Bunn Films over there, but my businessy stuff is just my name. And I've been posting 2 or 3 videos, reels a week on that. And, there's all kinds of links and stuff like that. But I'll send you over a link for your listeners to be able to click and kind of get some couple extra freebies if they want it for when this airs. So if you'll throw that in the show notes for me, that's where you should find them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider, if somebody said, hey, for $99 a month, you can have johnbunn.com?
Yeah, I would take it.
So then, I don't know how these work, but I know some of these websites that are super expensive, they do installment plans.
Oh, I know.
You should.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 1 month into somebody has it and has a launching soon and has
yeah, right.
There was if you Google the name John Bunn, there was a pretty interesting case where somebody was arrested and let go after so many years, and his name was John Bunn. And so anyway, that has he's kind of a famous, got wrongfully indicted kind of guy. I think so. Yeah, so, I'm not him. I get messages from time to time about that. But anyway.
You guys have a similar look.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're just about twins.
Just about. Dude, this is so good. I'm so glad that we got to do this. I'm really looking forward to being on your show.
Yeah, I'll get you a link soon.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah,
I must do that.
Get that sent to you soon.
Everybody that I interview. Shoot, I should have done that earlier with Ashley.
I'm gonna
Like,
send.
oh yeah. So anyway, Ashley's podcast is here, and looking forward to when you have me on your show. Oh, we can swap seas, you know.
It works.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? How are you gonna respond?
Yeah, that's
dude,
great.
so good. Appreciate you a lot. This is a good time. Looking forward to the next time.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you all to the listeners for being here today.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Grow Your Video Business podcast. If you got something out of today's conversation, do me a favor, share it with a friend or post it on your socials. Tag me at Ryan Coral or at Grow Your Video Business. I'd love to know what resonated with you. If you've got a question or takeaway, drop a comment wherever you're listening or watching this. You can also shoot me a message. I read every single one. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We've got more stories, strategies, and behind the scenes insights coming your way to help you build a business that you love. Keep creating, keep sharing your story, and keep showing up. I'm cheering you on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.